हमदो सना उसी को जो ज़ात जावेदानी हम सर नहीं है उसका कोई न कोई सानी.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Mohyuddin Mirza. We'd like to start with you that you should read a book. Reading book sounds so simple. I'm sure all you do read books, you do read newspaper. But today and in many other programs to come, I'd like to bring to your attention a remarkable book. I'm sure you have read this book, Philosophy of the Teachings of Islam by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian. Remember this book? We use this book when we are preaching, when we give to people. Please do read it, because the promised Messiah, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib of Qadian, has written it. It is a remarkable book. Many of you probably have read it hundreds of times, and still you feel that whenever you read it, there's a new enjoyment in reading it, there's a new meanings which come out of it. The book will going to talk about it. So at this time, my purpose is, please get hold a copy of this book from your local Ahmadiyya community, or many libraries also carry this. Ask your library to get a copy of this one. The title is The Philosophy of the Teachings of Islam. Let me see if there's a ISBN number on that. Yes, let's see, it is ISBN number 1-85372-198-0 So if you want to order this book from your own library, please, doing it again, ISBN -1 85372-198-0 PBK, published by Islam International Publications Limited. Or you can easily get this copy from your library, or order it from your local community. And if you can't get it, then please write us, MTA Canada. I like all the family to join with me to read this book. I'll be reading this book with you. I'm sure we'll enjoy it together. And because the focus in this book is where 5 questions have been answered which relate to life, which relate to interaction of human beings, and I'm sure we'll enjoy it reading together. But before I do that, this book has some remarkable features. That when the author of this book, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib Qadian, was invited to write a lecture, some people from different religions got together and they said, well, let's talk together. Everybody, or the key speaker, should mention about the beauties of the religion. And they came up with 5 questions to be answered. You know what those questions were? Let me just read those questions to you. And you should think about them. Okay? The question which will address this book is the physical, moral, and spiritual states of man. Very exciting subject. That what are the stages of human being which are physical, moral, and spiritual? And then the second question was, what is the state of man after death? All of us have wondered about it, that what is the mechanism, what's the infrastructure after we die? We know we are going to die. But isn't a life after death? How God is going to have accountability from us? Question number 3 was the object of man's life and the means of his attainment. That's really needed for inner happiness. And the 4th one was the operation of the practical ordinances of the law in this life and the next. And the final and the 5th question was sources of divine knowledge. Let me take you to the introductory part. The promised Messiah wrote about this one, that there was in his announcement, I'll read you literally from this one. In his announcement, Swami Shogun Chandra Sahib has invited the leading divines of Muslims, Christians, and Aryas in the name of God that they should set forth the excellences of their respective faith in the conference proposed by him. This is what Promised Messiah is writing, the author of this book. We wish to inform Swami Sahib that to do honor to the name of God, as mentioned by him, we are ready to comply with his request, and if God so wills, our paper will be read in the proposed conference. Islam is a faith which directs a true Muslim to demonstrate perfect obedience when he is called upon to do something in the name of God. Remember, very, very interesting focus that when we are called upon to do something in the name of God, and the true Muslim will demonstrate true obedience there. We shall now see how much regard his brothers, the Aryas and the Christian divines have for the honor of Parmeshwar or for Jesus, and whether they are ready to participate in the conference which is to be held in the name of the glorious Holy One. This was very interesting style of Hazrat Promised Messiah, that he will say, he will, it was like the glorious Holy One, God the Almighty, loving God. He was always remembering God in a very, very superlative way. In the Conference of Great Religions, which will be held in Lahore Town Hall, and notes the dates, 26, 27, 28th of December 1896. So it's about 100 years now. So that's our intention, that we like to celebrate 100th anniversary of this wonderful book with you. And books are meant to be read, books are meant to be studied, books are meant to be understood, so that you could make a part of your life. The information given here is tremendous and fantastic. Promised Messiah goes on that this meeting will be held in Lahore Town Hall on the 26th, 27th, 28th of December 1896. A paper written by his humble one dealing with the excellences and miracles of the Holy Quran will be read out. This paper is not the result of ordinary human effort. This is the amazing thing, that he came out strongly and said that this paper which he has written is not the effort, or is not the result of ordinary human effort, but is a sign among the signs of God, written with his special sport. So he was declaring it in advance that this is a special effort which God has communicated to him that he should do it, and is a sign among the signs of God. It sets forth the beauties and the truths of the Holy Quran, and establishes like the noonday sun that the Holy Quran is the truth, God's own words, and is a book revealed by the Lord of all creation. So he was really emphasizing that the Holy Quran is not an ordinary book. Everyone who listens to this paper from the beginning to the end, and here we will be getting an opportunity to listen to his writings. Remember, at that time in December 1896, there was a large number of people who came to listen to this paper. Everyone who listened to this paper from the beginning to the end, to my treatment of all the 5 themes prescribed for the conference, and you remember I told you those 5 themes, physical, moral, spiritual condition of man, and the rest of them, will, I'm sure, develop a new faith, and will perceive a new light shining within himself, and will acquire a comprehensive commentary on the holy word of God. So if it could be done at that time when it was presented to people who was participating, then I'm sure if you are going to follow with us, and if you're going to read the contents, and the Promised Messiah dealt this absolutely from the Holy Quran. This paper of mine is free from human weaknesses, empty boast and vain assertions. This is what he mentioned. I have been moved by sympathy of my fellow beings to make this announcement, so that they should witness the beauty of the Holy Quran and should realize how mistaken are our opponents in that they love darkness and hate light. And that reminds me, you remember some of the programs we have been talking before, that There was a prophecy from the Bible, Deuteronomy 18, chapter 18 and verse 22, when God talked about raising a prophet among thy brethren, and I'll put my word into his mouth. Then it says, Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 22, when a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken. So whenever prophets of Allah come, the promised Messiah was a man of God, he was a prophet of God, we believe in that. He did not bring a new law, he didn't bring a new message, but within the framework of Islam, he was the Messiah and God was speaking to him. He came out so strongly that my God has commanded him that this information, this article, this paper I'm going to present before a large number of you, this is going to be superior to all the other information will be present. And he said that my God has told me. This is the conviction. This is the intensity of their belief that God is with them and he has commanded them to write this paper. And this paper, inshallah, will be superior to all the other information which is presented there. God, the all-knowing, has revealed to me that my paper will be declared supreme over all other papers. Look at the declaration. Look at the commitment which was coming out. It is full of the light of truth, wisdom and understanding, which will put to shame all other parties, provided they attend the conference and listen to it from beginning to the end. They will not be able to match these qualities from their scriptures. He was so much committed to proving that Islam is the perfect religion, and whatever has been encroached upon over a period of time, he purified it. That was the purpose of the coming of the Messiah. Whether they are Christians or Aryas or those of Sanatan Dharma or any other, because God Almighty has determined that the glory of his holy book shall be manifested on that day. What a powerful announcement. He came with a very strong conviction that what he's going to present is going to be come out the top. He goes further from there. I saw in a vision that out of the unseen a hand was laid on my mansion, and by the touch of that hand a shining light emerged from the mansion and spread itself in all directions. It also illumined my hands. This is what Prophet Messiah is saying. Thereupon someone who was standing by me proclaimed in a loud voice, Allahu Akbar, Kharbat Khabar, God is great, Khabar has fallen. This is the revelation he received. The interpretation which the Prophet Messiah made is that by my mention is meant my heart, on which the heavenly light of the verities of the Holy Quran is descending, and by Khabar are meant all the perverted religions which are afflicted with paganism and falsehood, in which man has been raised to occupy the place of God, or in which divine attributes have been cast down from their perfect station. It was thus disclosed to me that the wide publication of this paper would expose the untruth of false religions, and the truth of the Quran will spread progressively around the earth. It will spread around the earth. And here I'm sitting in Canada, in the province of Ontario, and I'm presenting this information to you from here, from Canada. Can you believe how true the prophecies of the promised Messiah were and are? From this vision, my mind moved towards the reception of revelation, and I received the revelation in Arabic that God is with you, and God stand where you stand. Isn't that a beautiful fulfillment of that prophecies? What was told in Deuteronomy 18 verse 22, you remember I told you before that such people then talk that God has commanded me to do that, and what they say will be fulfilled. That's the proof of the truth of those people. This is a metaphor conveying the assurance of divine support. When Allah said to Prophet Messiah, God is with you, and God stands where you stand. This he said that this is a metaphor to assure me, to assure promised Messiah, that there's a divine sport for your presentation. What you are presenting in this group, to this group of people, is something which will be far more superior to other presentation. The information from the Holy Quran on those 5 subjects. I need write no more. I urge everyone to attend the conference in Lahore, even at some inconvenience, and to listen to these verities. So this promised Messiah published before the conference. I think the actual date is of this information is signed Qadian December 21st, 1896. So you could, what I'm reading to you was printed by promised Messiah and was distributed to a large group of people, inviting them that come to Lahore and listen to what I'm going to present to you. I need write no more. I urge everyone to attend the conference in Lahore, even at some inconvenience, and to listen to these verities. If they do so, their reason and their faith will derive such benefit as is beyond their expectation. Peace be upon those who follow the guidance. And signed by Ghulam Ahmad, Qadian, 21st December 1896. And as promised Messiah has said in the beginning, that the presentation, the lecture will highlight all which is written, taken from the Holy Quran. And he said he knows that the traditions of the Holy Prophet ﷺ were according to the Holy Quran, but he said, I'm not going to quote in this book. And I think this is what I'm going to do with you in some of the future program, that please get a copy of this book. That's a wonderful, wonderful statements and description and narration of the physical, moral, and spiritual conditions of man, and also what's the purpose of life, how we could understand God. I have read this book many times, and I enjoy it every time when I read it. Some of the moral and spirituality aspect, those are the burning questions in society nowadays. And this lectures of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian, the promised Messiah, I'm sure is going to change your life. Inshallah, we'll be going into more details in our next presentation. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Hamdu sana usi ko jo zaat javedan